Hey, this is Paul again. I'm going to be doing a video regarding the full-time training, especially the full-time training in Anaheim, which is basically Witness Lee's and the local church's Bible school. And I'm doing this video upon request. A brother emailed me and asked me if I could do a video on the full-time training in Anaheim and what goes on there, my experience there. And just so everyone knows, I'm also going to be doing another video by request. A sister requested that I do a video regarding the matter of oneness in the local churches with Witness Lee. They're always talking about oneness, how everybody needs to be one, all the Christians need to be one and unified. But really what they mean whenever they talk about oneness and unity it's really uniformity and conformity to their cult teachings and their cult practices, to the exclusion of everything and everyone else. So I'm going to be doing quite a bit of videos on this in the next coming days. In the coming days, and it's going to also expose the basic teachings of Watchman Nee and Witness Lee regarding the ground of the church, which they claim makes them the only legitimate true church. So I'm going to be getting into that in the next few videos. So just wanted to give you all a heads up on that. But going back to the full-time training, I myself attended the full-time training. My wife attended the full-time training. We knew a lot of different guys and gals that went to the full-time training. Like I said, the full-time training is the Bible school of Witness Lee and the local churches, aka the Lord's Recovery. The main full-time training is in Anaheim, California, but there are full-time trainings all over the world. There's full-time trainings all over Asia and New Zealand. They're in Russia. I believe they're in Africa. I know that they're in South America. They're in Western Europe. They're all over the place, and there's over 10 of them, last I heard, and I'm sure there's going to be more and more popping up all over the place as this cult grows. And my wife and I, we attended the full-time training in Anaheim. And, as I've spoken before, just as this cult has their own version of the Bible, whenever anyone has their own special version of the Bible, like the Jehovah's Witnesses and like the local churches, you need to run. It's a cult. They have their own Bible for a very good reason, to spread their heresies, to spread their agenda. And if a group like the local churches with Witness Lee, if they have their own Bible, is it any surprise that they have their own Bible school? Of course not. So I want to kind of get into what goes on at this supposed Bible school. It's not really a Bible school. What it really is a Witness Lee and Watchman Nee indoctrination center, a brainwashing center where brainwashing and indoctrination will take place very strongly and very quickly with a large group of people. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people at each of these training centers most of the time. And so the full-time training in Anaheim, one of the first things that you'll notice about this full-time training in Anaheim or anywhere else, one of the first things that you'll notice right off the bat is they're all dressed the same. Just like the Mormons all dress the same when they go out, when their elders go out to preach their false gospel. And similar to how the Jehovah's Witnesses a lot of the time, they dress very similar. Well, the local churches, just like any other cult, is no different. They are required to wear a uniform at this Bible school as if they're little elementary school students, at a Catholic school or something like that. So just like the Catholics, just like the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, they all dress the same. They all have that cookie cutter cult uniformity and conformity mentality. Witness Lee made sure of having that, having that kind of stuff taking place in his indoctrination center, the full-time training. So they all wear the same uniform, and not only that, but when they have when they go out on their campus ministry to get new members, they don't wear their uniforms. When they go out in public, they put on normal clothing. But even that I wanted to talk about. Actually, when you willingly go to the full-time training, you will willingly submit yourself to literally hundreds upon hundreds of rules. And dozens upon dozens of those rules are prescriptive fashion. Hard rules regarding what you can and cannot wear. And let me just say this right off the bat. I'm not against telling people that they shouldn't dress like whores or that they shouldn't wear goofy clothing. I'm not against that. But what the full-time training does, just like any typical cult, is they go above and beyond and they micromanage your life. They have made up so many fashion rules, like you can't wear jeans. Like even guys, you can't wear jeans. That was one of the rules when we were there. You can't wear jean jackets. You can't have a certain kind of belt. You can't wear this kind of shirt. It has to be a polo shirt or a button-down shirt. And you can't wear these kinds of shoes. It has to be these kinds of dress shoes. And on this day, you have to wear this with this kind of tie. And you can't wear that kind of tie. All these kind of prescriptive fashion rules. And the reason I point that out, that may not seem like a big deal. I realize it is a school. So yes, every school has the authority to tell their students what to do. But when any group micromanages your dress and what you can and can't wear to that degree, that screams cult, cult, cult. And just like any typical cult, they micromanage and control your life, your thoughts, even the very belt or undershirt that you wear. I mean, it's crazy. So this is what goes on at the full-time training. There are a lot of very strict rules. Like I said, hundreds and hundreds of rules that you have to abide by. Silly rules like no chewing gum, as if we're little kids. So this is what happens at the full-time training. They make you willingly submit to all of these rules that they've made up. And another thing that happens at the full-time training that a lot of people don't talk about or think about is one of their rules is that they ask you to have limited contact with your family. That's right. One of their rules is to have limited contact with your family while you're at the full-time training. When I was there, I believe it was like you have to limit your contact with your parents to like once a week or something like that. Limit your contact with family members to once a week. And now let me just say this. Any group that tries to limit your contact with your own family, yeah, that screams cult, cult, cult. And that's exactly what the local churches do with their Bible school, the full-time training in Anaheim, and also all over the world. Now, that's an isolation tactic. They want to isolate you. That's what they do even in their college ministry. That's what they do in the local churches. They do the same thing in the full-time training. And while they isolate you and put you all under all of these silly rules, they also will occupy you greatly at this Bible school. And really, again, it's not a Bible school. There's a reason why they don't call it the full-time Bible school in Anaheim. They call it the full-time training because it is a training. It is a very rigorous training. Your schedule, pretty much 7 days a week, is going to be set from 6 a.m. in the morning to 10 or 10:30 at night. You're going to have a very busy schedule every day of the week. And one thing that cults are good at is they're very good at, like I talked about earlier, occupying your time. They're time grabbers. They're going to fill your time at this Bible school, their training, their indoctrination, brainwashing center. They're going to fill your time every day that you're there with endless meetings, endless classes, lots and lots of different practical services, which is their free manual labor. They're going to employ you and occupy you greatly to where you're going to have pretty much time for nothing else. You're going to have no time for anything else. That's exactly what they want. That's exactly what cults do. Any cult that controls your time and occupies you to the neglect of your family, to the